Greetings, this is Paul the Poke from paulthepoke.com. Today's topic, Feast of Trumpets, Yom Teruah, 2 witnesses to the new moon. And the idea is that God operates on a lunar calendar, and Jews have utilized the following procedure every month for thousands of years. It's called Rosh Chodesh, or head of the month. And at the end of a lunar cycle, the moon is dark and is not seen for 2 or 3 days. So the new moon could be identified, it's a little sliver, the little crescent, during this 2 to 3 day period of that day or hour no one knows. So by definition, a new moon is proclaimed when the first little sliver emerges from the darkened moon. So it's not when the moon is dark, but it's when the first little sliver is observed. And it's a tiny crescent that's typically noted briefly at sunset on the western horizon, and it's noted usually above the sun after the sun is set. The month begins at the sighting of the new moon. 2 witnesses have to confirm the sighting, and upon agreement, the 2 witnesses report to the high priest, and this is according to Jewish custom. When the new moon is confirmed, the trumpet, the ram's horn, or the shofar is blown. And it's not hard to see how humanity's timekeeping system is different than God's. And it's easy to see how the concept of time is likely different and not on the same page. So, God marks time from month to month on a lunar calendar. Now, there are trained people, even today, who go out into the desert east of Jerusalem, and they look to identify the new moon. And they're looking for the little tiny sliver of the new moon to emerge. So if you're interested in this, see the website whenisthenewmoon.com. So some people would probably ask, well, what's the deal with 2 witnesses? Why do we need to have 2 witnesses with this type of situation? And the idea is part of Jewish law, and for that we need to go to Deuteronomy 19 verses 15 through 21. And a single witness shall not rise up against a man on account of iniquity or any sin which he has committed. On the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses, a matter shall be confirmed. If a malicious witness rises up against a man to accuse him of wrongdoing, then both men who have the dispute shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges who will be in office in those days. The judges shall investigate thoroughly, and if the witness and false witness, or if the witness is a false witness, and he has accused his brother falsely, then you shall do to him just as he had intended to do to his brother. Thus you shall purge the evil from among you. The rest will hear and be afraid, and will never do such an evil thing among you. Thus you shall not show pity, life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. So again, the idea is the dispute shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges who will be in office in those days. So, God the Father is the judge. Christ is the high priest, is the idea. So, imagine if this were applied to today during society. You don't think things would be a little different? Think people would be as likely to spread lies about each other? They knew the consequence of the punishment of the lie they were spreading. I mean, it would be death. Effectively, death penalty for lying or bearing false witness against a friend or neighbor or anybody for that matter. But in the future, looking ahead, God will have 2 people bear witness to the world that humanity is sinful. And with these 2 witnesses, God is establishing a legal declaration of evidence. If God is wrong and lying about humanity, he would bring judgment accordingly upon himself, per stated as the law above. So Revelation 11 verse 3, and I will grant authority to my 2 witnesses, and they will prophesy for 1260 days, clothed in sackcloth. So God's sticking his neck on the line when he puts these 2 witnesses, brings them on the stage in Revelation. Now granted, there's going to be plenty of evidence to suggest that humanity is quite guilty. But the idea again, it's a legal issue. 2 or more witnesses to the new moon are legally establishing as a fact per law they have seen the new moon. So if they lie about it, they're bearing false witness, and that brings its own crime. So it's a legal testimony. Hey, there's the new moon. So you can know the holiday. There's only one new moon holiday, and that's Yom Teruah, Feast of Trumpets. But of that day or hour, no one knows. Only the Father knows when the new moon is official and the holiday begins. So, yeah, we can know the 2 or 3 day period, but do we know exactly when the holiday begins? No. It's got to be confirmed by the Father. Again, just look at Deuteronomy 19 verses 15 through 21. You know, both men shall have a dispute stand before the law, before the priests and the judges, or before the Lord, before the priests and the judges who will be in office in that day. So if you're interested in this topic, please feel free to check out paulthepoke.com. Keyword, Feast of Trumpets, Yom Teruah, 2 witnesses, new moon. Thanks for listening. Take care.